Our next speaker is definitely not gonna fuck up her talk, because even though if she does, it's okay to fuck up, but you can't give up. Let's give it up for Natasha K.
It was a miserably hot day in San Diego, and I was pissed. I was just eating at a restaurant with my roommate, and the most embarrassing thing in the world happened. Can anyone guess what that thing was? I'll give you 2 shots.
Your credit card was declined.
Exactly! My credit card was declined. Now, to be fair, after 2 debt-ridden trips to Europe, my credit card was always at danger of being maxed out at $5,000. But they can't just cut a girl off for a 99.9% utilization rate, can they? So I called up my creditor, and I was like, oh, hey, what's going on? Why is my credit card declined? And although I was perfect at paying the absolute minimum on my balance every month, the polite dude bro on the phone informed me that because I had defaulted on so many other loans, it was time for them to pull the plug. So there I was, tens of thousands of dollars in debt, freshly liberated from my credit card. Oh, and bonus, also without a job. Now, you would think that that would be the moment that I would suddenly change my life and, change things around. But you would be wrong. Or perhaps several months later, you would think that when my roommate, who was tired of picking up the slack of my finances, that when she and I had a falling out, that would be the point where I'd finally turn my life around. But you'd still be wrong. No, the moment when I decided to change my life is when I received an unfortunate call from my mother, which no child ever wants to hear. And she said, Tasha, it's time to come home now. Your father is sick, and I'm not sure how much time we'll have before we can say goodbye. My father was a very charming and jovial man. He was always laughing, always joking, always messing around. Whenever I was at a family gathering, people were always asking, Tasha, where's he at? Tasha, where's your dad? Where's he at? When is he coming? He was just that guy who always brought a lot of laughter and happiness to any social setting. If he happened to make you mad, which in my case was kind of often, he always had the magical words that would make everything okay. But my dad also had a chronic money problem. He did this thing where he always kept his phone on vibrate, so if people heard his phone ring, they wouldn't realize it was debt collectors that were constantly calling him. If he got a bill, he'd shove them in the closet so visitors wouldn't notice. By the time I finally saw my father, his apartment was stuffed wall to wall full of boxes of long-time debts and unpaid bills. On his front door, there was an eviction notice. Prostate cancer is a long or a slow-growing disease and has one of the highest survival rates of any cancer. But unfortunately for my dad, he treated his health like he treated his finances. He hid his illness from everyone, including me, his daughter. When I finally saw my dad, I didn't see a man at peace. Instead, I saw a man full of fear, pain, and regret. My father passed away on July 27th, 2013. And the next morning, I drove back down to San Diego, found a full-time job a month later, and finally started to pay off my debt. So why am I telling you this story? To bum you all out and ruin your FinCon? No, that's not why I'm doing this here. I'm telling you this story to remind you that life is short. Life is so fucking short. And honestly, I don't care what your situation is. Have you stopped working out for the past year? Fuck it, I don't care. Have you and your wife or your husband or your partner stopped sleeping together? I don't care. Have you and your parents stopped talking for whatever fucking reason? Still doesn't matter. Have you, for whatever reason, given up on your dream project? Doesn't matter. You see, it's okay to fuck up. It's okay to make mistakes. But whatever you do, you cannot give up. We are but for a moment. So please, for your sake, for my sake, for the world's sake, please live a life without regrets. Thank you.
Right, so we have our final speaker before we go for a quick